Hi, this is Kyle Cease, and if you're watching this, that means that you've just seen, might not have just seen it, but recently saw a preview of our Deep Down event, an entire 2-day event. You might have seen it a while ago, or just now, or you're in the middle of it. I don't know where you are with it. You might not have seen it yet. You might just be about to start. You might not know who I am. And this is a weird moment for both of us, but more you, because I'm making this video in general for everybody, and I don't know about our situation personally. You do, though. Here's the point I'm making. If you're watching this video, you're someone who we know has had an interest in our Deep Down video series. And let me tell you about what Deep Down is and why it is so crazy. We do these events that you might have seen a trailer of, which you might have seen a preview of a while ago or recently or in the future. It's called Evolving Out Loud. And Evolving Out Loud is craziness. It's 2 full days completely away from your Facebook and from the news and from the same belief systems that we just hold in us all day that are not a part of us, but we're so used to believing are a part of us. It's an opportunity for you to call out all of these limitations in you that aren't you, that we're just so addicted to holding on to. And Evolving Out Loud is where basically I go on stage at 10 a.m. and I just start and I have no idea what I'm going to say. And then I speak for literally 9 hours a day for 2 days. And what comes from that is nuts. We never plan what I'm going to say. And the reason is because if I plan what I'm going to say, that would stop me from allowing whatever needs to show up truly in the moment to come through. And so we totally surrender and let go. If we let whatever wants to come through, me and the audience. And because of that, magic things show up. And it's bizarre how much magic is trying to show up for us every second, and we don't know it because we're so busy in our heads trying to get something or fix some problem or make more money or just survive, and we don't allow our truth to come through. And Evolving Out Loud, and especially the Welcome to Deep Down weekend, was a time where we show up and our truth starts to come through. People go, why is that such a big deal? Wow, so I can play more, I can create more. What we don't understand is we are so busy chasing the external things, and we don't understand that you can only get the external things on the level that you're connected to yourself. So some people say to me, why aren't I happy, but I still have all this I have all these amazing things in my life? And I call those people plate spinners. That's where you go, I got my career going. Okay, I got the plate spinning here. I got my good relationship going. I got this thing. So why am I seeking like crazy, and why am I not happy? Because just because your outside is doing okay does not mean that your inside is doing okay. And when we do these events, we only speak from our inside. And I've discovered that the more you connect to your inside, the more amazing the outside is. Because if you're living in a world where your outside plates are spinning, then you have to keep them spinning. And if they fall apart, you're horrified of that, so you keep them spinning, and you actually become a slave to your circumstances, and because of that, you never step into what you truly are. And Evolving Out Loud came from me, from my leaps in my life. At one point, I had a #1 Comedy Central career, and I had that plate spinning like crazy, and I was touring, and I was doing all this stuff, and there was a moment I was like, I'm supposed to do something bigger. And we all have that voice that says, what if I leave this company? What if I ask that person out? What if I go to that island and write a book for 2 months? And we don't know what's going to happen, but that voice is there. But the more you have these plates, the more you've trained yourself to ignore this voice. And Evolving Out Loud is an opportunity for that voice to be heard. Deep Down especially was one of the craziest weekends ever because my voice was being heard, I was speaking from my truth, and so many insane, bizarre things happened from there. We've made video series out of all of our events, but we feel that Deep Down was the craziest, most unforgettable weekend of our lives because it was the most authentic we, including the entire audience, had ever lived at, and so many bizarre things showed up, insane synchronicities and bizarre timing and magic, and very often we got to feel every one of our emotions. We live in a world that trains you to only focus on trying to be happy. And our feeling at Evolving Out Loud is not, don't try to be happy. Our goal in life isn't to be happy. It's to feel what feeling you're feeling in the moment. That's what we're about. And so people got to feel tears for the first time. And what we don't understand is when you feel tears, you let go of that old story and you connect to yourself so much more. And then you have new powers and new plates just start spinning without you even having to spin them. And when you finally feel your fear and walk right into it, you actually let go of your old minimal story that says, this is my limitation, but this is who I am. And you step more and more and more into what you truly are, which is just this moment. When you move from a place of understanding and knowing that who you are is just this moment, your limitations leave. And you realize that who you are and who Oprah is and Obama or Trump or whoever your favorite is, and you are the same thing. We're all just hearts and lungs and eyes, and we're just this moment, and we're all the same infinite potential. But if you think who you are is your past story, you will do everything you can to sabotage anything that feels bigger than that story, and you will stay in your old story because it's familiar. But a caterpillar could turn into a butterfly, and it might not be familiar when it turns into a butterfly, but it's more of what you truly are. We've trained ourselves to be addicted to familiar, and we've trained ourselves to ignore stepping into what we truly are. And Evolving Out Loud is an opportunity for you to truly access and feel the change, the infinite change that you are, and stop being the same that you were yesterday, because that's run its course. And if you're checking out Welcome to Deep Down, that's because you're tired of that old story. That's because something's coming into your life like anxiety or fear or an addiction is too much. And those things show up because only you're not living to your infinite potential and you're bored. And a lot of times when you're bored, your mind comes up with an anxiety or an addiction or something else to get you into the moment because you're so bored that your mind is sabotaging you so that you can fix it with an addiction by getting to the moment. But when you embody that you are the moment, the second you realize who I am is the moment, you don't need an addiction. It just contracts you. So you end up actually saving money because you don't have the addictions and you connect to yourself so much more. And then also, the more you live in your heart, the more you create. The more you create new things, the more you can create passive income, the more you can give your gift on a much bigger level, the more amazing your relationships are, because as you align with yourself, you start to only be able to find other people who align with their self. Themself? They self. The self. They're in the same boat as you. And the more you connect with yourself, the more you can identify and let go of the things in your life that aren't connected to themselves, the self. And what happens from that is infinite amazing relationships. What happens from that is freedom from those old stuck plates that you have spinning, and you can actually let them fall over as you realize you're someone who's more than just a plate spinner. You're an infinite creative being. And Evolving Out Loud and Welcome to Deep Down is an opportunity for you to get off of Facebook for a while, to get off the news, to get off the old story, to get off just being addicted to the political system and being worried as many times as possible so that the news can sell you whatever product they need to sell you. This is an opportunity for you to raise your awareness just by being entertained and watching an event that happened. It was captured on many cameras, and it's a beautiful event where you have this full opportunity to totally create, and you have a lot of exercises that show up in the event that you get to actually do. And once people do the exercises and not just hear the content, when you actually do the exercises, remember, when you hear the content, it feels good. That's kind of like going to the gym and having them explain to you, and this is how an elliptical machine works. And they just explain it to you, but you don't get on it and you leave. There's also exercises in it, and that's the equivalent of getting on the elliptical machine. And then you can do the equivalent of losing weight, but for your mind and for your soul and for your body and for your heart. And you can access this new you that creates on a totally different plane, in a totally different way. This event to me was one of the most intense weekends of my life where I learned so much about myself, and everyone who left that event, so many people wrote us and said they changed from this event and they got different things from this event and they identified all these things about themselves that they didn't know were true. Because once you step outside of the matrix, you realize that what was going on in the matrix isn't true. So the change that happens from this is forever and ever and ever. Remember, this isn't a motivational series. Motivation is where you think, I'm gonna go get that thing so I can be happy. And most people are under a huge illusion, and that's when I get that thing, I'll be happy. As someone who got to get a lot of those things in my life that I always thought when I get that movie or that money or that career or that job or that date, I'll be happy. I learned that's not the truth. I got it and I was just like, what's next? The real truth for me became, when I'm happy, things will happen. And by happy, I don't mean big fake smile. I mean when I'm okay with all of myself, things can show up for me because I'm finally a space that's ready to receive it, because I don't think that it's bigger than the little story that I thought that that's who I was. You're an infinite being, I promise, and I'm looking for people who want to co-create with me and move into their truth, because we're in a time where the only thing that's going to change the world are people who live in their heart and in their truth and move from their excitement and their guidance, and then they create a new bar for other people to see that they don't have to live as stressfully and depressed and addictively. And that's what I'm looking for as co-creators. So that's what Evolving Out Loud and Deep Down is. And I promise you that if you invest your time into this, you will get so much more back, because you'll discover that once you connect to yourself, there's so many things that we've been addictively taking on, or we're a people pleaser, and we better make that person happy, and you stop that crap. And you have more time to do what you want to do, and you can create bigger things and better things and create a much bigger, more exciting income for you as you do something fulfilling for the world. That's what this is. This is that opportunity. And I'm dying to find people who are really ready to understand that who you are is so much bigger than your little story, and you want to co-create on an entire new level, because that's what we need to change the world. And I just wanted you to know, if you were thinking about it and you feel that calling in your body, just leap. It's going to be worth it over and over and over again. That feeling you feel in your body is a preview. It says when you step into this thing, you're going to always feel this way. That's what that feeling is. And when your body says, here's why we shouldn't, that's your mind saying you'll feel this way if you don't. Our minds train us to say, if we don't do that, and then it comes up with all these problems. You know, the body goes, you should leave this company right now. I can feel it. I don't know why. And the mind goes, well, here's why you shouldn't. And it comes up with all this fear. We can't go to the Cheesecake Factory party next Thursday. And it's the stupidest reason. And your body can't tell you this, but it's like, if you would learn to step into your power, you could do anything. And I want you to do that. That's what your body's saying. And when you do that, you create an antenna from your body. You move from a whole new place and you create on an entire new level. So that's what Deep Down is. It's an opportunity to totally immerse yourself in hours and hours and hours of content, and then create with that content. And I promise you, this leap, once you do it, life will never be the same. After that, you come back from it and everything you were worried about before, it doesn't even make sense anymore. Everything changes from this event. So that was my offer for you. I just wanted to say hi and thank you for even being interested. No problem either way. I just want to share with you that it's just the most exciting thing to me, because it's the highest truth that I've ever known when I made it. So I'm thankful for you, and I hope to hear from you soon. You can write us all at info@kylecease.com if you have any questions. And I just want to thank you for being you and listening to your heart, and even coming and saying hi to us on the website. So thanks so much, and I hope to work with you soon.